Hello everyone, and welcome to the Extreme Tig channel. So for today's video, guys, I'm gonna show you technique and the approach how to practice on your Tig root. For example, I got here a 4-inch SCAD 40. Right now it's a loose 532 gap. It's probably a little bit too wide for 4-inch. I'm just gonna put a tapper gauge and just to check for the gap. So it's around 5 mil. I'm gonna push it down to 4 mil, so we got like 1/8 loose 1/8. As I said before, if you can push 1/8 rod inside the gap and wiggle, that should be a really good gap. Okay, this is 1/8 rod, 70S6 I'm gonna use for this video. So for today's video, guys, I'm using ArcCaptain welding machine. It's a ACDC 200 amps. Looks pretty cool. This is a welding machine that I got from an ArcCaptain company to make a review. So I'm gonna put it in use, gonna put it in a hard test. Right now I'm using 110 volts. As you can see, it's indicated on the display. I got lots of options: AC, MMA, or stick. 4-step welding, pulse, and you got that square or triangle welding when you're using AC. So I'm just gonna test it. Gonna test for a DC Tig. As I said, I'm just using 110 volts. It's a really nice setup. Perch hose, all those connections. This is 200 amps torch, high frequency, or WP26, also known, with that little stop-start remote on a handle. Nice harness. It's not that heavy to use. It looks really good. It's a good looking, really nice machine. I have some doubts, of course, especially using not so known brands. So I'm just gonna put it in a hard test and see what this beauty can do. Yeah. As I said, on this 4-inch, I'm just gonna put 2 tacks here, and I'm gonna set it up later in a position. So I'm gonna put tack here. Just gonna put root tacks right away. As you can see, I'm 110 amps, and it's melting really good for now. Always issue with those kind of welding machines that you're not familiar with, or not so known brands, is you never know when it's gonna preheat, overheat, and how much you can actually do. So I think 4-inch pipe should be really good enough to test that machine. Okay, I put 2 tacks in, put two root tacks, set up in position. I'm gonna put on a 45. I just want to tell you guys, like for the root, it's always good to practice root, especially the hardest part. It's probably overhead for the most of welders. You want to always practice overhead. You can even keep the overhead all the time. So for the overhead, that's what I'm do, always keeping that rod inside 1/8, enough to cover both edges, you know, just to keep rod in the middle as you're going up, and let that puddle goes. There's a couple positions that you can position yourself. You can you can be like on the side, feeding from the feeding for the top. You can be here on the side. You can freehand or walk the cup. Right now I'm like positioned like on my knees. Same thing for the other overhand. You know. If you right hand, and then this is it's gonna be your harder side. Just practice, roll that pipe, keep it always on overhead until you finish the pipe. Practice both sides or practice one side. It doesn't really matter as long as you practice what's more difficult to you. As I said, there's a couple different positions that you can position yourself, you know, feeding from the top, freehand, whatever it's easier for you. You know, you want to learn all those techniques. As I said, positioning, guys, that's number one. It's gonna be easier for you once you position yourself. I mean, if you're in a field, you always As I said, when I was tacking with 110, it seems like really like a little bit too hot, so I'm gonna go down on 105 amps for the root pass. Usually with the Miller welding machines, I'm 120, 125 on my root, even sometimes 130. It all depends from the thickness and diameter of the pipe. But on a 4-inch scale 40, I was always like 120, 125. This machine so far, I'll go with a 105. Okay, you can use that tack on the side as I show you here as your support, so your rod is not wiggly, it's not shaky. You can use that support. Okay, so as I said, once you connect both sides, feeding from the side, keeping that rod inside in the middle of that puddle and just stretching that puddle up and down. As you can see here, because it's a 45, so the rod is more positioned a little bit more on the top. And so far, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually this machine I'm kind of impressed by so far. For only 110 volts, and it's melting really good control, consistent in amperage, in voltage. Not bad at all so far. We'll see how long it's gonna last, and is it gonna overheat, overload, and shut it down. It's a little bit tighter gap here, but it's still lots of room, still loose 1/8. Just lay wire technique here on this part, and just gonna shut it down here. You see they got nice there remote, they got pause, so you can actually pause and let for 4 seconds. There's a 2 and 4 step set up on that welding machine, so I use a 4 step, actually 1 press of a trigger, and then starts your arc, and then once you start welding, then press another one and it just start cooling over, and then you got post flow for 4 seconds of argon. Okay, like for the tie-in, grind both sides. I'm just gonna show you an example here what I like to do with the tie-ins. It's a little bit clearer picture. So preheat. Once your start melting, just add wire, and before that connection, before the tie-in, I actually dip both sides and pause a little bit here and just add wire as needed and go slowly over it and finish around ½ inch, maybe inch further, as this is only tack, so I'm gonna finish right in the middle or close to the end. Okay, as I said, this is that tie-in that was on that tack. It doesn't look bad at all. The root looks really good so far. I really like it. As I said, you can keep your position always overhead, as you wanna do overhead. That's the best way to practice, you know, especially, as I said, lots of people got issue on an overhead part, you know, or either you got the cold stabs inside, you know, wire, or is it too flat? That's why you don't have to finish in position all the way. You can always rotate, or unless you are doing test or something, then you have to stay in a position, of course. But as I said, this is only for practice. This is what I'm doing. I was just watching through the side and feeding rod from the top. You can see the angle of the rod inside. That's always connected to the edge of that puddle. You don't push that much. You just push enough to have enough material inside, and just stretch that puddle. As I said, I'm still 105. Machine is still working good. Still great consistency, great control. The machine actually by quality so far reminds me on a ESAB machine I was using, also able to do a stick and ACDC. And now the same thing, tie in. Pause here by the when you connect, and just add the rod as needed, and then just go over it slowly and finish on the side, on the wall. That's it for the root. Root is done. Root is done all the way around. I spent a couple times that I did overhead, but one part I finished just on the top, as I don't need to practice too much. This is only for you guys, just to show you like what you can do. Root seems alright. I like it all the way around, pretty much it's even. Especially those two spots where the tack was, but that's still good. Okay, now I'm gonna put this machine to real test. I'm gonna go up to 115. Actually, I did later. I during welding I did up to 118, as the only max is 120. As I said, you can still indicated it's 110 volts. So I'm gonna do hot pass and fill in one pass, just to really put this machine to hard test. And I'm just gonna go up, try to fill to flash with one pass. And then, as I said, I really like to test this welding machine to see what it can do. So far, it really melts nice. Still great consistency in providing the amperage, voltage. No funny noises, you know, like some welding machines, you know, they start making some weird noises, but it's really good so far. I really like it. Actually, I'm impressed. Quality compared to the price. I think they're around ArcCaptain ACDC 200 amps. It's around, I'm not sure, it's around like $1,100. Usually if it's some famous brand like Miller or ESAB, they run like 3,500, especially now during the inflation. As you can see here, guys, great control. It really melts that rod really good. And for 118 amps, this is really good. That's it. Really nice, clean weld. Tells a lot about the quality of that welding machine. It's also 70S6 rod, so it's a clean rod, more silicone inside and easier to manipulate. Now I'm gonna max it out, 120 for the cap. I'll go slow side to side. I'm gonna roll. Torch still good. It's hot a little bit like any other torch, but not that hot. It's not melting. You don't see that smoke coming out of that rubber. I'm just using regular 2% thoriated 1/8 tungsten, cup size 8. And now I want a cap. It's a little bit wider cap, but I'm going slow. No need to rush. Always take your time, especially on a cap. And with 120 amps, you want to go nice and slow. Ride that wire, stretch that, keep the edges straight, and be consistent in your step while you're rolling your cup. Okay, that's it. One side is done. No resting. I didn't stop at all after root, and then hot and fill in one pass. I did right away one side of the cap. Now I'm gonna do another side. Hope I can make more videos later in the near future, trying to do some aluminum. I hope you guys will be interested in me doing in 6G aluminum butt weld, and try to use this welding machine. There's also there's also possibility, so there's a 110 and there's a adapter for 220 volts that can max out that capacity of the welding machine to 200 amps. But so far with 110 it's pretty amazing. Like if you got any side gig, you know, in a garage or something, I mean, with this machine you can do lots of work. You can even set up a generator and connect it and go in a field welding with this machine. It's pretty amazing actually. And that's it, guys. Cap is done. The only thing I heard is fan is running a little bit loud, but that's normal. It's not that loud. It's just running fast. It's cooling, but machine is still working. Didn't shut off at all. It's actually incredible. And that's it, pretty much for this video. Practice, guys, practice, especially that overhead part. Put a routine, roll the pipe, you know, and that's it pretty much. Thanks to ArcCaptain for providing this welding machine for review. The only thing I would like to add, if they got flex torch, flex head, that will be even better. I like more flex torch than fixed ones, but it is what it is. As I said, Tig 200 ACDC, link should be in the description. You can guys check it out. Always maybe get some discount at the subscribers. Thanks for watching. See you the next one, guys. Bye.